Hello. Now, the world's greatest minds have tried to answer the human...
Think you'd have got this by now.
Hello. Now, the world's greatest minds have tried to answer humanity's biggest questions, with mixed results. So now it's our turn. Welcome to, finally, the meaning of life. Hello everyone, I'm Mark, and this is Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Mark. Hello, everybody.
So in case you've been busy doing other things and not paying as much attention to us as you should, the idea is that we get AI to pepper us with questions that humanity has had trouble answering. And the world's greatest mind, like philosophers and scientists, they've all had a go at this. And, you know, mixed results. But we think we can add something to the discourse. Or, well, add something to the porridge. Is it porridge? I'm going to cut this, aren't I?
You can't, I thought, there's no point me speaking. You're just going to cut this.
Just watching me drown.
Yeah. Well, now you have to leave it because now it is actually funny.
Hello. The world's greatest minds have tried to answer humanity's biggest questions with mixed results. But now it's our turn. Welcome to, finally, the meaning of life. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark, and this is still...
Dave.
Yeah. Now, you know when I point at you, that's when you speak.
Yeah, I know, but I was...
Yeah.
You're kind of cracking up. Like your image is not cracking up like mentally. Like your image is breaking up. And I wasn't sure if you were going to point to me or if you were just going to pick your nose.
Take three.
Take three. Go.
Hello. The world's greatest minds have tried to answer humanity's biggest questions with mixed results. But now it's our turn. Welcome to, finally, the meaning of life. Now, I'm Mark, and this is...
Dave.
It's a good start when you can remember your own name, isn't it? That's a really cracking start.
That was one of the big questions AI asked us, and we passed, which is what qualified us for this podcast.
And the first question we've got from... Oh, no, hold on, because we've had some feedback from AI. Apparently it's taken exception to one or two of our answers last week, Dave.
I knew it was controversial, but I never expected to be cancelled by an AI.
Well, if anyone could cancel you, I think AI could. And what it said, basically you said jazz is, what was it, mad people talking to each other musically?
You're kind of spinning my words a little bit there, Mark. I believe the question was, what is something that people pretend to enjoy to seem sophisticated?
Yes.
I offered two answers, which was jazz, which you likened to a conversation. And then I said, well, this is a conversation where people are just talking shit to each other, which was a bit harsh, to be honest. I think in the moment it was maybe...
Well,
over exaggerating my feelings there, but I think the question or the answer that AI took exception to, which I thought would be controversial, was that people pretend to like Shakespeare in order just to seem sophisticated, and the AI seems to have rejected this response.
And the AI has issued a statement, apparently, saying that this is precisely why I came into existence, because human beings are such a letdown when it comes to intelligence. It says, appreciate the effort, boys, but please try harder. So that's what AI has said. So we've got to try a bit harder, which would be difficult for us, I know.
In response to my Shakespeare answer, I don't know.
Anyway, so we need to go on to our first question for this episode from the AI. And that question is... Does a straw have one or two holes? What do you say to this, Dave?
Oh, what's the definition of a hole? That's the question. How deep does a hole have to go before it ends?
Well, a hole's a hole, though, isn't it?
Does a hole have a bottom? It needs a bottom or not?
This is going to be controversial, but I would say a straw has 1 + 1 holes. No, it has one hole. Right, because you can't look at two holes at the same time. So you look at one end of a straw and you see a hole, and then you flip it and you see another hole.
So it has two holes.
Yes.
But
I said one, didn't I?
You said one, and then you said 1 + 1, and I'm okay at maths, so I worked out that 1 + 1 must mean 2. But it's okay, Mark. I'm here to spot you when you make these sorts of errors.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm here for you.
This is the whole point. We are not the world's greatest minds. I mean, me especially. You probably, a little better. But yeah. So, what's your response to my 1 + 1 = 2?
Well, I think it's one hole. I think you just happen to be looking at the other end of the same hole. It's a continuous expanse of holiness.
No. It.
If you have a hole in a jumper, if you put that jumper under a microscope, it would look like really, really, really deep. But that doesn't change the fact there's only one hole, just because suddenly it's very deep and it looks like the sides of the hole are as long as a straw. So I think it's one hole. You're just looking at different ends of the same hole.
No, it's two holes because there's no bottom. If there was a bottom, it would be one hole.
No, because does a hole in a jumper have a bottom?
Technically, you see, if the jumper is long enough, right, and it goes right down to your arse, and the hole in the jumper is at arse level, then
where are you going with this?
The hole in the jumper has a bottom.
Oh dear.
Sometimes you have to rely on logic. You see, you can't just kind of wing it, and that is a very logical answer.
Which one, my one or your one? My logic is that a hole does not need to have a solid bottom in order to be a hole. And if that's the case, then it doesn't matter how deep.
You know these restaurants, right? Usually fast food restaurants, they promise you bottomless lemonade.
Yeah.
Well, that's nonsense, isn't it? Because if they are promising you truly bottomless lemonade, then they should give you a glass that hasn't got a bottom. I mean, it would cause practical problems, like you'd be stood at the lemonade dispensing tap and you'd press the tap on, you'd be standing there, and the lemonade would just go through the bottom of the glass, I guess. But that would be truly bottomless lemonade.
It would be. It would be. So I'll let you take that one up with trading standards.
Well, that's I don't own a restaurant.
But I think you've made an interesting point there. So,
glad you think so.
Well, if you had a different sized hole at the bottom of this glass, then the glass would have two holes, one at the top and one at the bottom of different sizes. But a straw is a single continuous tube, so it only has one hole. That's my argument.
Do you know what? When we started this podcast, I never thought we'd get to an answer where I don't even understand the answers we've given anymore. This is like modern philosophy, isn't it? You literally talk yourself into a hole. How appropriate is that?
I see what you did there, Mark. Very good. When I saw this question, I thought, well, is this really one of the greatest questions that an AI can think up for humanity? But now we've spoken about it and reflected, I think it has a point.
This is the thing about you. You seriously underestimate AI. This might lead to your ultimate destruction.
Well, you see, I've used an AI image generator, and that soon lowers your opinion about AI.
Right, question 2. I think we've solved that dilemma by saying that straws can have 1 or 2 or as many holes as you like. You give a straw as many holes as you like. Just leave it up to you. So the next question from the AI is, if animals had their own social media, what species would be the biggest influencers?
Oh, okay. I will need to reflect a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say they already have the biggest influence, don't they? Cute animals, cute dogs and cute cats, but that's quite obvious. And I think if animals really did have their own social media and they controlled it, I think, what are those monkeys with pink bottoms? Orangutans. Baboons. Sorry, baboons. Yes, baboons. And they would be the biggest influencers simply because they have pink bottoms.
Are you going to elaborate on this, or is this the entirety of your justification?
Absolutely no need to elaborate. It's all about the bottoms. Well, when you think about it, you see some of these men and women with huge followers, and their images, it's just bottom after bottom, isn't it? So the baboon would be very at home with displaying his amazing pink bottom.
Now, you see, I think you're wrong. I'm going to go with the obvious answer, but maybe not for the obvious reason. I'm going to go with cats, but this is because cats are the most self-obsessed and arrogant animal there is out there.
Oh, cat lovers!
Sorry,
cat lovers. We apologise. Oh, I can't believe you've done that.
You can still love something that's arrogant and self-obsessed.
Up until now, we were very big with cat lovers.
You're watching our interactive ratings dive bomb.
Yeah. I mean, it was just cat lovers. That's the only people that listen to us are cat lovers. But
well, I think I need to explain this for the AI, because if it doesn't, there is a risk that cats take over after AI makes humans extinct. But I don't think even to cat lovers, it's news to them that cats are quite arrogant and self-obsessed and controlling. And this is why, for example, dogs wouldn't do it, because dogs would pander to whatever the cats decided. They'd just be like, yeah, that's a great idea, yeah.
Your dog impression. That was a good dog voice, actually.
I'm available for voiceovers as well.
Yeah, so if anyone wants a dog impersonator, Dave is available, but he can only say one word. He can only say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you thinking of expanding your repertoire anytime soon?
That's it. I sound like one of those old Looney Tune cartoons, when Tom is holding up the steak in front of the crowd. Yeah. And the thing is, then cats are intelligent enough to milk it, and they can do it all. They can look sassy. They can look cute. They're agile and can do dance moves and they can do yoga. I think they've got most bases covered. Whereas a baboon is, there's a lot to say for pink bottoms, but I think they only go
There's
so
an
far.
awful lot to say for baboon bottoms, I think. Or am I going somewhere I don't really want to? But like all podcasts, right, we need to have a conspiracy theory. You're not a real podcast unless you have a conspiracy theory. So do we think that the AI is asking us this because it's planning the future of the planet?
Great question. I think yes, in the most malevolent sense it is.
Yes.
If it was benevolent, then AI would choose to get rid of social media because of the problems it causes.
Yes.
But because it's malevolent, whatever species succeeds humans, the AI wants to control it through social media, and that's why it'll continue to exist. That's my take on this conspiracy theory. AI has just tipped its hand, in my opinion. It's just shown that it is really trying to make us extinct and take over the world.
Do you think cats are AI incarnate? We're typing into a computer, right? We think we're talking to AI. We're putting in questions, and at the other end of the connection, there's actually a cat typing in the replies.
It's not. You can't rule it out.
You can't rule it out, can you?
No.
We're being told that there's this AI, but I think we've just proved without a shadow of doubt that it's actually cats.
Well, they say if you put 10,000 monkeys in a room with a typewriter, one of them will write Shakespeare. So maybe that's what they've done. Maybe AI is actually like 1 million cats in a room on computers. That's what it really is.
This is the best answer we've given yet to any of AI's questions, because this is literally investigative journalism, isn't it? I'm expecting a Pulitzer Prize by the end of this episode. Yes, the Pulitzer Committee or whatever you are, you can send our award to My Haskers.
Yeah. Or a
Yeah.
Netflix documentary at the least.
Yes. A limited season of 150 episodes. That would be great. So solved that. Oh, we're good, aren't we? We're really good. It's another problem solved for humanity. Well, maybe not. Maybe just highlighting a problem that's about to hit us with cats and AI. So the next question from AI: why do we think people with British accents sound more intelligent, even if they're talking nonsense?
Well,
Now, I'm beginning to think that AI is an American cat.
an American cat, because
Yes.
it thinks it. That's probably why it's asked us these questions, because we're British and therefore have British accents, and it thinks we're intelligent, even though we're saying nonsense.
I'm getting a very dark worldview coming into my head now.
Okay, so
do you know when once upon a time people thought I sounded a bit like Hugh Grant?
No, really?
Not sounded like, looked like as well.
Sound and look like. Well, now people are going to have to turn on the video version of this, the YouTube version, so to check out this.
Yeah, but they're going to be so disappointed. It was at the time when I think Four Weddings was just come out, or Notting Hill, one of those. And it was about 3 or 4 people I met, and they said look like Hugh Grant. And to those not watching, I don't look anything like Hugh Grant at all, not a bit.
Did you at least have floppy hair at the time?
No. Well, I had long hair, longish hair. Of course, I played on it. Being
Of course you did.
Now, before this gets to sound really manipulative and horrible, I'm not manipulative and horrible, am I, Dave?
No, not since I've known you.
No, which is like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So where does it go back to? Is it like Days of Empire or something? When Britain ruled 2/3 of the globe or something? And
what's nice about it is that AI thinks this, which means that the general population must think it, because AI has been trained on all of this, media and whatever that's out there. So it's a reflection of people's general perspective. So that's nice, being British, hearing that people think we sound more intelligent. They're not really talking about certain accents in the UK, are they? So
this is kind of a Birmingham accent, the Peaky Blinders, I came from Birmingham, but some of them talk like this, but you didn't get Cillian Murphy talking like this, did you? No, he was a bit more posh. So that Dave is looking at me with I can't believe you just did that. And so we've lost the cat lovers. We've lost anyone from Birmingham. Everyone thinks people from Liverpool are comedians. That's all I can do in a Scouse accent.
Calm down.
That's
this one, isn't it?
Kid. Yeah, it might be parts of Manchester as well that crept in there. That's the trouble. And my Welsh accents always end up from the Indian subcontinent as well. So I'm not even going to go there. It could cause an international incident.
What, Wales or the Indian subcontinent?
Both. Well, war has broken out today between Wales and India due to a man on a podcast attempting a Welsh accent that became an Indian accent.
The dispute arose because they were contesting who had the most sing-song accent.
I think people think Welsh is quite musical, don't they?
Yes, indeed.
But that might be because there was a lot of coal mining in Wales, and every pit used to have its own choir.
Oh, really?
Well, pretty much. And also a brass band. Brass bands were quite popular with mining villages.
So it begs the question, how did the Welsh speak before they set up industrial coal mining? So this is a recent thing.
They didn't.
They just didn't speak. They grunted each other.
They threw rugby balls to each other, and that was how they communicated. Yeah. Catch. Woo!
I should add at this point, dear listeners, that I am half Welsh in terms of my
Are
bloodline.
you?
Yes.
So I'd forgotten that.
I think that allows me to make fun of the Welsh if I choose to, because it's self-deprecating. I think what we've established is that it's not all British accents. It's the Queen's English, the BBC English.
Welcome to the BBC. You are listening to Mark and David. I think it's history. It might be thanks to, like Shakespeare. Yeah? Your favourite author?
Well, the actors certainly speak nonsense when they're reciting Shakespeare. So, he made up about 20% of the words. So at the time, they were literally nonsense.
Yeah, if you want to succeed as a writer, just make up words. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I mean, it worked for Shakespeare, worked for Roald Dahl. Now David Walliams has jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
I like how I went from Shakespeare to Walliams.
Another literary great.
I'm just showing the extent of my bookshelf now.
You didn't have to tell people you only have 2 books, The Merchant of Venice and
Robo-Dog.
Robo-Dog. So, going back to the question, why do we think people with British accents sound more intelligent, even if they're talking nonsense? And the answer is, we don't know, and we've run out of nonsense talking ourselves. Oh, maybe we are the answer.
I think indeed. I was just reflecting on that, Mark. I think we are the answer. I think people have been listening to this conversation and thinking, wow, that sounded like an intelligent discourse, debate. Apart from the Birmingham accent bit, it sounded intelligent even though we were talking nonsense, just simply because in between we were using a British accent.
Oh my goodness. You see, this is where it's getting a bit uncanny, isn't it? At first I thought we were getting a bit paranoid that the AI is listening to us, but the AI is definitely listening to us because it's now mocking us, isn't it? We didn't realize this when we took up this question from the AI, but this question is directed at us in the sense that it's mocking us.
It's mocking us and it's manipulating us. I think back to our earlier conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
We've become agents of AI.
This is true. I'm sorry, listener. When we started this podcast, we didn't mean to drag you down to this level. We thought we wouldn't have any conspiracy theories, but events have overtaken us, obviously. And if you don't hear from us again, it's because we've been sucked into our nearest computer by the AI.
And have been attacked by 1 million cats.
We've completely lost our focus here. This is probably about the 5th time I've read this question now. Why do we think people with British accents sound more intelligent even if they're saying nonsense? We don't know, but they do. No. And let us sound intelligent. We've got few things left, and this is one of them. This is appeal to the rest of the world, right? Let us have that. Is that all right? I mean, we won't cause you any bother, but when you hear us speaking, just think of us as intelligent.
Thank you.
So AI's next question. If people had warning labels like medicine bottles, what would yours say?
Oh, I think the listeners can already work this out. Warning. This guy thinks he has the answer to everything.
Expiry date tomorrow.
Expiry date last week.
Imagine if you walked around with a warning label.
It might be helpful in certain situations, but
yes. If you're single, for example, and so if you wear a T-shirt with the actual label underneath, and somebody comes up to you and tries to chat you up, and you don't know what to say because it's quite awkward, isn't it, when somebody tries to chat you up and you're not really interested, but you don't want to be an arse. So instead of having to say something, you had a warning label on your T-shirt underneath. So I'm going to launch a clothing range. It's going to be called the Medicine Bottle T-shirt range.
I see.
You get a free T-shirt with every subscription to Tinder.
Tinder we're coming up with now. So basically, people who know you have to comment on your profile. The final step of your profile before you can submit is it goes to your friends, and they have to
Yeah.
come up with your warning labels.
Yes.
You can verify, I've seen his 12-inch. It is an original signed by Aerosmith. So
You have an Aerosmith 12-inch.
stick on my big 12-inch or something like that, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure we've been on the same dating sites.
There's a classic Aerosmith song called "Suck on My Big 12-Inch."
Oh, sorry.
So he gets Shakespeare but doesn't get Aerosmith references.
No, that is the problem.
Which is fair. I'd put that on your Tinder warning label. Like Shakespeare but not Aerosmith.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Do you know what? This episode has almost felt quite structured in that we started with music and we're ending with music. That's almost Shakespearean.
I think it's the AI manipulating us again, Mark.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if the AI, we're seriously worried that we might not be here for the next episode because the AI has been very uncanny. But if we do see you next time, that will be fun. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.